The men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances. And one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7, 8. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. Then the whining schoolboy with satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace with a woeful ballad made to his mistress' eyebrow. Then a soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, the fair round belly would keep on lying, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part. The 6th day ships into the lean and slippery pantaloon, spectacles on nose, and pouch on side, his youthful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shrank. And his big manly voice turning again toward childish treble pipes and whistles in the sound. Last scene of all that ends this strange and eventful history. His second childishness in real oblivion. Song's teeth, song's eye, song's taste, song's everything.
To say, I am Lazarus, come from the dead, come back to tell you all. I shall tell you all.
My mother groaned, my father wept. Into the dangerous world I left helpless, naked, piping loud like a fiend hid in a cloud. Struggling in my father's hands, striving against my struggling bands, bound and weary, I thought best to sulk upon my mother's breast. When I saw that rage was vain, and to sulk would nothing gain, turning many a trick or wile, I began to soothe and smile. And I soothed day after day, till upon the ground I stray, and I smiled night after night, seeking only for delight. And I saw before me shine clusters the wandering vine, and many a lovely flower and tree stretched their blossoms out to me. My father then with a holy look, in his hands a holy book, pronounced curses on my head, and bound me in a myrtle shade. Like the holy men by day, underneath the vine he lay. Like a serpent in the night, he embraced my blossoms bright. So I smote him, and his gore stained the roots my myrtle bore. But the time of youth is fled, and gray hairs are on my head. The metal-edged ruler that hammered my hands, the heavy strap that hissed against my flanks, the whip that made me dance, created the demons that almost devoured me. A kernel of hate is carried within me. Mind creates, and time puts cruelty in perspective. But blood and bone and sentient flesh, unreconciled, sustain their rage.
No, no, for my virginity. When I lose that, says Rose, I'll die. Behind the elms last night, cried Dick. Rose, were you not extremely sick? In the quest of her whom I had lost, I came at length to the shores of the Lethe, under an immense ebony sky from which all the stars had vanished one by one. Proceeding I know not whence, a pale, elusive light as if the wandering moon of the phantasmal phosphorescence of a dead sun lay dimly and without luster on the sable stream and in the black, flowerless meadows. By this light I saw many wandering souls of men and women who came hesitantly or in haste to drink of the slow unmurmuring waters. But among all these there was none who, upon death's purple altar now, see with the victor and flee. Your heads must come to the cold tomb. Only the actions of the just smell sweet as blossom in their dust.
If I wasn't a soldier, the soldier said, what would I be? I wouldn't be. It's hardly likely, it seems to me, a money lord or an armament maker. Territorial magnate or business chief. I'd probably be just a working man. The slave of a licensed thief. One of the criminals I'm shielding now. If I wasn't a soldier, the soldier said, I'd be down and out, likely as not, and suffering the horrible starving lot of hundreds of thousands of my kind. And that would make me a red as well, till I rose with the rest and was battened or shot by some cowardly brute, much as I am now. Miniver Cheevy, child of Scorolta. Miniver Cheevy, born too late, scratched his head and kept on thinking. Miniver coughed and called it fate, and kept on drinking. Forget, and be not sorrowful at all. Ah, tend no more in gardens of the tarrying years, this wormwood flowering tall with thy mellifluous tears. Be glad, a fair blossom blooms chimerical, a golden rose illoined with veil on veil of blue, in realms beyond the sunset born of Xanadu. Be glad, though here the skies are like a leaden wall, and still in Saturn from their isle Septentrion the black swans fly to seek the jungles of the sun. Forget. Be not sorrowful.
Francis Unity day before it ends. He is my bank, my bag, my hat, my cloak. He went slowly mad as the seasons moved. Frantic for life, he fritters to death. He is counting the beats of my fractured heart, corroding my dreams, breathing my breath. 25 years beyond my youth, I sought again the sunlands I had known. Lichen lay still in the stumped dry hills. Laurel thickets hid the velvet deer. Anchored hemlocks offered peaty bristles. Yet something was gone, some elusive element I could not name, but only knew. My aging veins began a pulse of protest. My heartbeats hammered hope, but heard despair. Somewhere in my skull a nest of gnawing rats scampered in panic from those mildewed sticks. And then I knew. The land I sought was locked in amber time, in lost dimensions of the past. My present self could fashion only futures.
Today, in vision or in night, is it therefore the less gone? All that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream. I stand amid the roar of a surf tormented shore, and I hold within my hand grains of the golden sand. How few, yet how they creep through my fingers to the deep while I weep. Oh God, can I not grasp them with a tighter clasp? Oh God, can I not save one from the pitiless wave? Is all that we see or seem but a dream within a dream? certainly well for about 3 years, I guess, out of the 4 years I was on Dark Shadows. And it's taken a lot of punishment, a lot of sweat on it. And a little tonight, too. But this is the last time I will ever use this. I'm going to pass it over to Bill Hunt, who will give it to the appropriate person of the committee of the auction for tomorrow, and it will be going up for auction.
Poetry and stories presented by Frederick J. Mayer. So please stick around.
I think I get it in focus.
We're out doing things like this. You're sure doing.
This is still pretty dark.
Aha.
Can you see it?
Don't worry about me. I'm a little nearsighted. I'm just looking to see if he can. Oh, good. I don't think he's here. That's all right. Ravens were started last year, and they're basically service awards for people who contribute whether or not you ask them to, which is always helpful, especially if you don't ask them to. It just adds to fandom. The first of our Ravens this year goes to Dale Clark.
Yay! Where is he?
If you want to look cute, come up here and get Dale's Raven.
Is that Richie Robertson?
Richie Levantino.
Oh, Richie Levantino.
Substituting for Mr. Dale Clark is Mr. Richie Levantino.
And our second Raven this year, hopefully this one's a surprise, is it? No. Oh, he knows. No. He helped me put them out. Okay. Goes to John Mackenzie for being such a good photographer, reading poetry, doing everything else that he
Yay!
Take a Raven set speech. John, get off my stage.
I don't argue with her.
We also had a literary contest this year, our third. We're very happy to report that the winners, I think most of them are here. Third place in the literary contest goes to Ernie Terwilliger for the Rebel. Everybody's an actor. Okay, second place goes to Virginia Waldron, who is not here, for a story called The Dispossessed, but her editor, Bill Hunt, will take this briefly. And first place, we're really happy to report, goes to Megan Powell-Nibley for a story called A Hell of One's Own. This is your ribbon, and you'll get your check. The winners of the literary contest are all going to be out in Chosen Haunts 3, which unfortunately didn't get back on the printer, and which we are, in trouble with the U.S. Mall for because I think they lost their box. We also had our second poetry competition, sponsored by Raven Limited. The third place winner was James Meyer. James? He won third place in the poetry contest, and he married the lovely Kathleen. Now, we don't want you to get really bored, but the second place in this was won by Megan Powell-Nibley. And first place in the poetry contest was won by our very own Evelyn Vaughn. Now, don't forget out on the table, the freebie table, are the rules for next year's contest. There is a $50 first prize for the literary contest and all kinds of recognition, love and adoration, and envy on the part of everybody else here. So please go out later on and pick up those sheets and get those poems and stories, right? Thank you very much. Now we're going to be having ghost stories at about 11. So come down, bring someone you love or someone you want to cuddle with. We'll turn out the lights and we'll scare each other. Yay, all right.
Since I hear you like to go ahead.
Oh, all right. Mary was
I'm just staying here.
I must say, I always get to see
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh my, I've got to see ever since all these people have gone. Well, good to see you. See you later.
Okay, I'll see you.
Excuse me.
Oh, cute. She married us. That's glad to arrive safely, Jonathan Frid. We were talking about my busted last summer. That's great.
Yeah, sure.
He remembered my name. I didn't have to tell him that. Yes. I only asked for one autograph. That happened from last weekend.
Oh, yes, Mr. Frid, yes.
That hurts. That really hurts, you know? I'm a fan. I'm going home. I don't...
That's why I got one. I figured, you know, I had
My God.
I'm not going to get anything he says on mic.
Excuse me. What's the name of the security?
How do you get here? Fly?
Get it? Huh? Get it on here? Yeah. Right there. Oh, okay.
Excuse me.
But it looks like we'll be done in plenty of time.
Thank you, Jonathan. You did that good.
Cut through the dealer's room.
I try.
On the edges is better. I mean, I know you got to watch. You got to do your job.
That's for a friend of mine, for John.
That's cheap. No, it isn't.
Give the lady a chance.
Which lady a
The
chance?
one behind you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's right.
I saw an opening.
It won't be for long.
You don't see that anymore too often.
Go ahead, go ahead. Sorry. Shall be perfect?
Sorry. Well, every time he looks up,
You want me to do it again?
Yeah, I did that better than I messed it up. I kept spelling my name out. I went over there when I
Go ahead. Hey, Guy, get closer.
That's an unusual. I don't know where you people get these. Trying to hunt things down. I can't get one.
Jerry Ollinger's in New York.
What?
Jerry Ollinger's in New York.
Where's that?
West 3rd and...
It's 6th
West
Avenue.
3rd.
Yeah.
Near 6th Avenue.
Yeah.
Near 6th Avenue.
I always got West 3rd and Bleecker and all over. I lived there for 4 years, but I still got it.
Excuse me.
I'm wearing my new suit. A little concerned.
Would you move 2 centimeters to the left? Thank you. That's all. That's all I want.
Don't take oh, let me go on cover that. Well, not really.
Thank you, Jonathan. Bless you, bless you. Can you wait until I take some of this up to the room and then I'll come
Go ahead.
leave you?
Go ahead. You want to try again?
Please.
Grab it.
Is this a bag or let's think about it.
That's like being never around like that.
They couldn't make it.
Gesundheit.
I lost screws. You're more than one. They have to go and pick them up someplace. She would do it during the show.
One of the judges wants Fred to sign this very sorry Okay, I'll stand over here so they can take pictures.
They could not make the chance.
It's nice in the car. No. I'm excited. Probably has the original gum in it too now.
That's terrible.
That gum it's terrible when it's fresh. Can you imagine if it's like 20 years old?
Well, when you drop it, it just spatters.
I mean, can you imagine? No. Susan has a good set. She has all the comics. When it came out in the paper, the comics, everything.
I'll give you the money. I'll give you the money.
Yeah. It's nice to be a fan like that. Like when I was little, I collected baseball cards.
Jonathan, I have one here you can have.
And so I,
Stop saying that. My name's Jonathan.
it'd be nice if we had some more trash cans too.
Hmm?
Wondering if you got all those pictures of the plane.
Yeah, it was. They're both idiots. You're not going to be able to get back there with them.
Oh boy, you're coming here.
Go ahead.
You're here all day.
If I get a chance to talk to John, his uncle we've been working with that. Oh, no hurry. Just that I couldn't see standing in the line all that time when I was supposed to be down there, you know, helping and not letting people in the art room and stuff. But I know she's going to do that.
But you want to sign exactly what it says there?
That's what he wants, yeah. And then sign it, Jonathan.
Right here. Come on. What about her? Come on. Looks like a mustache.
With the really shirt and the mustache looks familiar. Maybe it's just the mustache. I'm going back up and try this.
Go ahead. Peggy. This is a movie camera, not a still.
Let me get my co-star. This is Robert Redford. We did that Twilight Zone episode of death, you know, meeting that woman in a tenement. This was Robert Redford and I was the building inspector. So me with
Can you get it out of the sun?
What?
Can you get it out of the sun?
Get over here. And wait.
And talk.
Wait.
Go ahead, dance.
All right, you got enough?
Pardon me.
Superfan.
still have your pen, you know. Keep it. Thank you, I'll need it.
Well, I only have one side.
Hey, David.
Did you get David?
I'm getting him.
That's me up.
What?
I bought a pack of magic cubes new.
Well, you know what it could have been on the plane? They could have flashed. Sometimes Static
Really?
Electric does that. You talking about Robert again? Da, 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 da. Are you talking about Robert again?
Yeah, one of these pictures is for Robert.
You know, I'll get the tape. I'll put this on the tape. I'm videotaping this.
Great. That's great, Jonathan.
So,
I got this one here is mine. This is for Robert here.
okay, what I'll do is, next tape I send him, I'll put this along.
Okay.
Are you talking
Can
about
you get
him?
my address too?
Yeah, sure.
You have two VHS machines?
No, I have one.
I've heard of these
I'm
get
going
a
to turn the guitar. I'm glad to take over for you.
Okay.
How hard is it for you to double copy it?
No problem. Set it up and forget about
I'm
it.
glad to pay you for your trouble, you know. That's no problem.
I could be in to sell copies of this. I could sell copies of this. See, Jonathan Frid videotaped on, you know.
Jonathan, I have a picture of you showing Robert. He doesn't know what you look like.
Actually, we'll do it in style. I got a target. No, it probably, Guy, it may have exploded in, yeah.
Can I get a shot of you? Can I get a shot of you three together? Or all four of them? I don't know if I can get it. Get a little closer to John.
To who? Oh, John. He did it too. Oh, okay. You ought to get one of these. Step over your camera for a second.
Just for now, that's late.
Yeah, I want to do it. Can I look like I'm picking it up? No, I don't.
Did you enjoy House Dark Shadow? Did you like House Dark Shadow? Yeah. Yeah, this was the one you get sent off the bubble gum wrap. 50 for 50 cents. With what? Oh no, it just came in like a brown envelope, if I remember correctly. I sent it way back 60
Actually, you know, Guy, there is one photo I do want you to take.
Okay,
of me. Give me the cane and the ring. Okay, when you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's free.
Again?
Yeah, it's free. I'll get it. Get over here behind the one.
Okay, which button? This one?
Yeah, the round button. Round button.
How do you do it?
No. Come on. No. Don't you know the classic Dark Shadow beat up position? Hold the cane, middle. Turn it like that, raise it high, above his head. High above his head. No, turn it so the wolf head is pointing down. Okay, high up, over his head. Didn't you ever see the way Barnabas went and hit Willie? He never see him hitting him. It's always the cane hovers above his head. Like that. Like that. That's it. And you're supposed to look vicious, look angry.
Give me 3, 2, 1. Come on, I'm down like this.
Break. Give me the ring. Try it on the finger. Like, yeah, it is, but can't do well. This is fine. I always wanted a shot of that without me. I just want the ring without the digital watch. Thank you.
Want to try again?
No. Buffy? Buffy? From Southern LA? How much of this do you want?
I was just wondering, can you go back to the line and see if there's any more of my friends? If not, this will be all.
Okay. Going from Miami to Dallas. Smile.
Stop whenever you want.
No, I'm gonna tape up to her.
Oh yeah, I thought you were gonna get her. I saw her when I was
Saving all your money from a rainy day. Giving all your clothes to charity. Maybe get a plane down to London.
Isn't he nice? I don't want to be picked up with probably all.
Now when you go upstairs to play this.
Oh, guys. Guys, I got Peggy dancing.
Did ya? First episode starting in the Dark Shadows program.
Mm-hmm.
She's no closer.
What?
She's no closer than she was a couple of months ago.
Who? Who's she?
The one you're waiting for.
Makes this sound so perverted.
Yeah, well, some things are understood. No, the box was taped.
No, guy. It could have been that it could have, you know, flashed. Static Electric does it. Hmm.
Thank you so much.
Well, you could bring them back.
We're going to do our best.
Is he going to have like a question and answer panel or something actually decent?
They're going to have at 1 o'clock. They're going to have the Twilight Zone panel.
No, I'm talking about an actual question and answer. What have you been doing?
I don't know. They usually have that, but I don't see anything like that.
When you asked BFL. BFL. Peg? Peggy Ellen Green? Did you ever notice that Peg and, you know, her initials and her name is the same?
Thank you for the compliment. I enjoyed reading that story.
I'm not going to get any of what I said on tape. Yeah, it's almost all drowned out. Yeah, I'm monitoring the voice from over here.
The whole island would be subject to paper. Every film that
Where's Kathy? Where's Kathy?
I think she's at her tape.
I'm really not sure. It's hard to say. I think it's probably commercial there. It's not a bad show. Yeah, like I said, but they do understand on every.
What is that, a color? Or black and white? Polaroid. Yeah, color black and white. Haven't seen one of them in a long while. Good camera though. Good camera. I'm cheating, I'm using video. I'm cheating and using video.
You can try.
One picture, I'm getting a whole hour or so of him signing autographs. No, I've been alternating. I got lazy and I figured it'd be an insult to sit and tape him while from the front. So this way I can get some of the people, you know, talking to him. Sure. I don't know. Okay.
I believe that's him. How much tape do you have left on that?
An hour or so.
This will probably come out better than that yesterday.
Yeah, because the lighting here.
I'm not going to wait
What does he know about
$12 sold. And a couple other movies. Okay, now, this is an edition of Frankenstein that most of you, or maybe none of you, have ever seen.
Just don't hit me, okay?
I believe that we should also auction off the opportunity to lick the icing off.
2 cents!
Go for it, Alan!
Wait. No. I want more.
the cherry?
Ready?
Wait a minute, wait.
Everybody got their camp?
Wait. What flavor?
Cool Whip. I told you I don't. Ready?
Any last words?
No. Ready? 1, 2, shit.
It's Adam.
Hold it right there.
Oh, the things I go through.
Oh. Hey, that guy looks like Barnabas when he got old.
Come back next year to the Bill Hunter.
We will now take up a donation to clean the walls.
And Bill.
And Bill.
Bill.
And Alan.
And Alan.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna go pay too.
I love it.
For his role as Adam. The lovely lady Lara Parker. She's well known for her role as Angelique. Carlin. I've got to say it, Cowardly Willie Loomis. Catherine Lee Scott. We love Josette. Last but least,
Who is he?
We'd like to welcome everyone to this question and answer session with the actors and actresses. What we thought we would do now that you know who they are. If they would like, we perhaps just go down the road with people who have not been here before or just would like to know, and have them tell us what they've been doing and if there's any projects coming up that they would like us to watch for and keep going to the way. And just kind of give you an idea of those things, and then you could ask questions that we can.
Well, let's see, I've been busy raising a family for the past 10 or 12 years. Watch for my kids. Mark?
I don't have anything coming up, but I'm still trying. I just came back from a trip around the world. Here, Russia, Ireland,
Pittsburgh.
the Himalayas, Nepal, Tibet.
Sure. My turn? You know that the series was canceled. But I'm doing a good movie right now. I'm doing a nice movie. I'm playing Sean Penn's father in a new movie called Racing with the Moon. I mean, just to keep in accordance with the times, now I'm playing a grave digger. That's my profession. A grave digger, really. And I actually am digging a grave with my son, and I got very lonesome for Jonathan. I really did. I mean, it all it all came back to me. I didn't think about it when I got the script and all that was happening. And all of a sudden, I'm up shooting in Fort Bragg in Northern California, and we're in a cemetery, and it all came back to me. So, Racing with the Moon.
When's that coming out?
Probably around Christmas time. Richard Benjamin's the director, and hopefully it'll be okay. Get me into the movies.
Great.
I keep my clothes on in this one. I don't have to do those kinds of films anymore. Besides, I can't. Thank you.
Well, I missed the Shadowcon last year because I was in London, and I was doing a show called Chandlertown, which has now been renamed Philip Marlowe Private Eye, and that's been on HBO. I don't know how many of you saw it. I did. I wish more people had HBO because I really love doing that show. I hope we can do some more. And it was great fun. I love doing it. Other than that, I've been hired to write a screenplay, so I'm doing some writing today. And there's nothing else I can think of coming up. Let's hope something does. Jonathan.
What have I been doing? I've been here. I got myself a rocking chair about 4 years ago. And I put some old albums together, and I sit there and I look at old Dark Shadows. I'm enjoying it till I'm 90. Looking at old pictures, and I gotta get myself one of those Betacam things, whatever they call them. Look at old episodes of Dark Shadows. No, I'm gonna get myself moving here. I think, and I gotta get something going for myself. But that's what I've been doing. We won't talk about the future today. We'll talk about it. That's what I've been doing. No, I haven't. I don't know what I've been doing.
I haven't seen you in 13 years.
I know. We decided we all look absolutely fabulous. And that takes care of all those years. Next question. Quick.
If you have a question that you'd like to ask them, if you put your hand up, we can call on you, and then we can please speak really loud and clear so that we can hear.
Yes, Mr. Frid, which one do you think was your favorite section of the Dark Shadows series, in 1897 to 1795 or what?
Well, I was
Where's
just
the cable?
Talking to Lara a few minutes ago about a couple of episodes I saw last night or about 3 weeks ago in New York. I saw some in New York recently, and where I scared the bejesus out of Lara because I knew my lines one day. And she didn't know how to react, so we really went at each other. We zap. And those 2 or 3 episodes I thought were absolutely fabulous. And that's what I remember because I saw them just 3 weeks ago. So I like those. We had... It was 1795, and you were really putting the works on me, and I gave it to you back. And we really went at each other. We had some dynamic scenes. That's simply because I saw those the other day, but I can't remember that far back. But those were pretty good.
Yeah, I was just going to say the power of Dark Shadows, really. 13 years old or 12 years old and still having reruns of it on television. That's incredible.
Star Trek!
Wait a minute. No. Star Trek was 1975, 76, and that was filmed.
66.
Star Trek. Star Trek was a prime time series. Is any other soap opera? No. Any other soap opera has ever been rerun ever? No.
That's not a soap opera.
I thought that it all
I do it when I should. Basically, 21 to watch Mary Cartman, and how would you think you would compare with Dark Shadows? What show? Mary Cartman. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Mary Hartman.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it.
It was a late soap opera.
Nearly half an hour, and they had a delightful way of killing somebody that didn't Dark Shadows one better, which one character actually drowned in chicken soup.
Well, they're both comedies.
Any other questions?
Excuse me, Mr. Frid, where did you see those episodes just 3 weeks ago? Did someone have?
I think it was through Michelle Noble, I think, got the show to me. Remember her? She was here last year.
Yeah.
She arranged it somehow. It was a kid.
By the way, we have another seat to be fulfilled over here. Jane Storm has just arrived.
Answers, huh? Hi. How you doing, guys? How are you? How are you? Pretty as well.
Hi, how are you? Good to see you.
20 years. 20 years. Yes. How are you in the hat? Well, how are you? Very good.
Perhaps we could let Mr.
They're lying all the time. They're all lying.
Perhaps we could also let Mr. Storm tell us what he's been doing.
Nothing. You've been raising a family? Yeah. That's when I walked in. Yeah, I've been raising a family. 2 kids, wife. Keeps you hopping.
Anybody have another question?
Miss Parker, you seem like a very sweet person. Did it take a lot out of you to play Angelique?
Took it all out of me. Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. Those are the most interesting characters to play, any actor will say. It's really fun to be mean and horrible. I guess it's very fun not to hate.
The snake has all the lines.
To continue with that, Laura, when you played Alexis Stokes in Catherine, is that a change of pace for you with the target to get into those characters? The good girl?
I loved doing Catherine because I thought she was a heroine, but I think it was the worst.
Was it hard when you were playing the twins and have to play the scene with yourself?
Oh, that's really fun.
The best work she's ever done.
So many people got that.
Really did have all the lines.
Many people have gotten to the stage. I'm in on stage. In the bathroom. Mr. Garland?
Yes.
I really enjoyed Cagney-Lynch. I'm very sorry they took it off. I was just wondering if you found it a big change of pace to play a good guy for a change. Most of the roles you've had seem to have been bad guys.
Yeah, I did. I really did. It was, you know, you felt like you wanted to do different things and things that I, you know, had always done, and I wasn't able to do them. And I found it nice. I found it really interesting to just be a nice guy. And I think it helped me. I really do. I think it helped me as an actor. Be a nice guy. Which is what I really am.
I have 2 questions. One for John. Did you enjoy working on Hill Street Blues last year?
Yeah, now there I wasn't such a nice guy. Yeah, I like that part a lot. Yeah, they asked me to come back to extend that part, but I couldn't do it. Yeah.
That was real good.
Yeah, I like that. It was fun.
Is there a possibility you might go back to it now?
If they ask me, I'm ready. You know, I'll probably go back maybe and do somewhere else.
And my father was Laura. You did a movie recently that might be on TV in the future. I forget the title of it, but I read about it.
I did last summer.
Yeah, I've read about it a couple of
Yeah, it's called Foxfire Light. It's a romance novel. Do you read romance novels? This is supposed to be the first one ever filmed. It's probably not, but still. And it's called Foxfire Light, and Leslie Nielsen's in it, and Tippi Hedren and Barry Van Dyke and Faye Grant. And it's just awful.
Is it scheduled to be shown anytime?
Well, the person that made it is the woman who wrote the book, Janet Daly, and she put all her money into it, and she financed it, and then she came to Hollywood to sell it, and I don't know what happened. It's real. No plot. It's just about two couples that fall in love and look after the other.
Did you say one of your least favorite movies was Desperate Large? That's right.
In the boat? Take the rip-off of the island.
Which I thought was really good.
Christopher Plummer.
Oh, the one you did down in
Catalina.
Oh, no, I loved that.
I heard that you didn't care for that role.
Oh, no.
I thought that
was fun to do.
Well, maybe it was either that movie or Solitary. Both were tough.
Yeah, I like that.
Any questions?
Yeah, with shows like, Return of the Man from Uncle and stuff, do you think you would all want to get together if they ever did a Return to Collinwood kind of series? Just a movie.
Yeah.
Why
don't you guys produce it? You guys can produce it. We'll get into show business together.
Believe me, we would love it.
Collingwood Motel. Our showers are great.
They have a certificate from the Norman Bates School of Hotel Management.
Yes, for Catherine, I'd like to know how you enjoyed working on Tales of the Gold Monkey and working with Roddy McDowell.
Well, I loved it, but I didn't actually work with Roddy McDowell. I know him, but
Roddy McDowell.
that little scene with him at the very beginning of the show was shot some weeks later because he was ill at the time. I love doing Tales of the Gold Monkey. I like doing period things. I enjoyed it very much. And I love Steve Collins.
Where was that shot, that particular part that you were in?
It was shot on the Queen Mary, which was certainly in period. We shot it down in Long Beach. And then the rest of it was done at the studio.
I'd like to ask Catherine if she enjoyed working as Sally Decker on Police Squad.
And how many wigs did you wear? The most fun I think I've ever had in my entire career was playing Sally Decker. I just love that. I got that script the night before, and they sent it to my house with only a few pages of it because they were being very secretive. And I couldn't make head or tail of it, and I rang my agent early the next morning, and I said, "This is funny, isn't it?" and I went there, and there were nothing but blondes. And I thought they just called in the wrong girl. So I went in there and I played it like June Tierney, and they cast me. And that was before I realized that all those wigs were going to happen and blonde and so on. I loved it. I had such a good time. That was just like Neil said. I had such a good time. I wore 7 wigs. All at one time. Yeah, that was great. That's one of my favorite things.
I understand that you did that on Dynasty. What did you play and how did you like being on that show?
I liked doing that. It was a recurring role. And I just come back from England, so they were looking for an English girl. And I auditioned for that the day after I got back. The English accent wasn't too bad. And I played a secretary. Secretary to one of those guys, Colby or...
Whichever.
Okay. Anyway, not a nice lady. She was just trying to get power and influence. I'm sure you remember the scene. It was just, no, that was... I was with the chauffeur on my lunch hour, eating pizza, drinking wine, and getting information is what it was about. It was great fun to do. I liked it very much.
This is both Lara and Jonathan, or whichever was your answer. This is about your fan mail. Did you get the most fan mail of your characters were at their most wicked and evil?
People look
It's interesting, isn't it? I wonder what that says about. Yeah.
Follow up to that question, I do wonder what kind of mail you got, Robert, considering your role.
Oh, God. It varied, as most fan mail does. Good things to bad things. I did find something very interesting, though, that there was a considerable number of pieces of mail that where younger kids at that time seemed to identify with the difficulties of growing up as Adam as a character. And I found that very interesting.
There were bored housewives that wrote in and said, can I make a man like you in my
John, I just recently saw Daughters of Darkness a few months ago, which I enjoyed, and I wonder how you chosen or picked to go over there and do that, and did you do any other films? Yeah, I did. There was something to that film, wasn't there? I had never heard of it, and someone told me you were in it, and I got a copy of it, and I thought it was good.
Let's see, it was of my buddy, my friend of mine. I'm at the racetrack in New York one day. This is the truth, you know. And a friend of mine is in real estate, and he's also a producer. And we've shared a lot of things over the years. And he said, hey, listen, I got this great film, you know. And the name of the name of the movie company was Gemini. I was born on May 28th, and Zach, my friend, was born on May 27th. So we got all this money from Boston real estate, and he formed a motion picture company, and that was the second motion picture that we did. So he shipped me to Europe. Yes. The last thing he told me before I left on the plane was that I had to appear in the nude. Taking off, you know. But,
is that the only thing you did out there movie-wise?
In Belgium. We shot this in Belgium. This was the only major motion picture ever shot in Belgium. And they haven't shot one since. You know, and I had a ball. I really did have a ball. And the director, he came up to me and he said, listen, don't worry about it in the nude. It's nothing. Every time we finish a shot, he'd go like this, here. He really did. But there was a lot of shower scenes, and they did you marvelous in Europe. You know, when you're in the shower, after the scene is over, they give you a big cognac, and you just drink it down, and you want to keep shooting all night. Europe is much more civilized. You know, you may be able to sneak a beer once in a while on the set here, but that's about it. Not really. You can get it if you know the plot, man. But it was fun. I really had a ball. I stayed in a magnificent old hotel in Belgium and got to see Europe for the first time. It was the first time I'd ever been to Europe, so it was fun. 1970.
Yeah, I was also wondering, how did you enjoy your role when you were in Winds of War, and how did you come about getting that role?
Well, that's Dan Curtis, who was the producer of Dark Shadows, and that was the next to last day of shooting on the thing, and he called me up and said, hey, I'll put a dip, and I said, fine. And I sat with Robert Mitchum all day in a cockpit, and I got to meet the man, and had a great day. Fun, you know, it was just, we were shooting right at Paramount, and they were blowing smoke over us, and I was making it, you know. And I got to know Robert Mitchum, and he was a sweetheart. And I had a good day that day. It was a fun day shooting, you know. That was fun, good day. One day, though. Only one lousy day. One stupid day.
One day more than Dan Curtis gave us.
Yeah, Mr. Frid, how was it to work with Alexandra Motique-Isles? How did you find her as a person?
Oh, she's a lovely girl. She's a very sweet girl. No, she really was. She's very nice. She's very nice.
Easy to work with?
She's been in a situation lately, but you know, I was, which is tickles all of us. But however, she's been going through a kind of a heavy period. But she was nice. She was very nice.
Who would you like to have seen the character of Barnabas to have been with? Josette or I mean, Maggie are the key winners. Don't give the wrong answer.
I enjoyed myself thoroughly. Shame on you for that.
Yeah, what Mr. Rodin said made me curious about something, receiving fan mail from children. And since most of the fans of Dark Shadows, when it was on, were small kids, I was wondering, do any of you remember a particular piece of interesting fan mail that you received from a child? And what was it?
Yes, it was a piece of fan mail that disturbed me very much because it was when Josette jumped off that cliff, Widow's Hill, and a little girl with an umbrella jumped off the garage roof. And it disturbed me very much because she was about 9 or 10 and she wrote me a letter and obviously she was laid up. She injured herself and she wondered how I had done it. I mean, I make a joke of it, but it is disturbing.
How do you do that?
Do you know if David Ford is still up around something?
What has happened to David Ford?
Never heard anything.
Anybody know?
Just a voice in the past.
No, as a matter of fact, he's a very he's a voice in the present.
Yes,
I hear him on. He's always doing commercials for expensive cars and things like that.
He did one for Time magazine, I think.
Yeah, I hear his voice. I hear his voice. He does a lot of voiceover. He used to tell me that he made 1,000 times more money on a voiceover than 6 weeks of Dark Shadows. You know, those voiceovers were very, lucrative. He was doing very well for himself, and I guess he still is. He's probably a very rich man.
You know, there's something else I think you should know. We were talking about it earlier. Whenever Laura and I are recognized, we have lunch together. And, the show's been off a good many years. We were recognized from Dark Shadows. And whenever I get fan mail from anything that I've done recently, they always mention Dark Shadows, and then they mention that they've done safety and it's Sally Decker, Dynasty, or whatever it was. But it's extraordinary. I'm always remembered for that. I think we all
We will follow you to your grave.
And beyond.
Just a statement to all of you. This day and time, I believe, a lot of stars forget about the fans, and I know I can speak for everyone here. We really appreciate you coming out here.
Yay!
A lot of warmth here. A lot of warmth here for you people.
We appreciate you.
Tremendous warmth.
Great to thank you.
Tremendous warmth. Thank you.
Laura, how many episodes did you do of DVD?
You guys work a lot.
I compressed the whole thing. I've erased it from my memory.
Are they continuing? I don't know anything about it. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't heard from them. And I don't have cable, so I haven't watched it. I think it's still on.
We've got some of them on the list.
It did not turn out to be. I was very disappointed. In the planning stages, it was supposed to be much better than it turned out to be. I didn't like it.
If I remember correctly, when Dark Shadows went off the air, they kind of concluded the storyline just by reading it out the last couple of minutes of the last episode. And I was wondering, how much advance notice did you get, and what were your reactions when they did take it out?
Well, we knew about the writing was on the wall. I think 6 months before, as far as I knew. I mean, I sensed it was around Christmas time. We knew that there was that final cycle. They do everything in cycles. By the time that last cycle was underway, we knew it. So the letter, the official letter, wasn't that much of a shock to us.
Well, did you consider cancer? From what I read, I had a press book from the person that's out in your city case showing reruns, and they have a listing. The ratings for the last month it was on were very high. So was it more of a creative reason that it was?
The ratings were not. The ratings were not high.
The month before.
The ratings went down a year before. At the peak of that show, there were two or three peaks in that show, and there were people would watch that show. You ask anybody, and they would watch it every single day. In the last year, I used to kid people. I said, "Are you watching it? Have you been watching it?" "Well, I had something else to do today. Mommy made me go and do the." I said, "A year ago, you said, 'The hell with Mommy.'" Once that starts, then that's the end. You've got to have millions watching a show. That's what television is all about. That's why I say to people when they're petitioning to have it put back on the air again, you've got to have, about 1,000, you've got to have several thousand names, and then hopefully that might interest the station manager. You're talking in millions of people when you're talking about television. And people must remember that, you're devoted to it, and you sometimes can't understand why people don't buy it up. You've got to have millions of peripheral people who are indifferent, who just kind of watch it. Oh, this is kind of fun to watch. There's where they make the money, on that peripheral margin. And if they don't get those people in, the diehards are not enough people. That's the answer.
This is for Mr. Frid also. We've read a lot that you kind of feel typecast, as a vampire. We'd love to see you do a movie or something. Do you think that maybe you're scared to try to go out, try to get another role because you feel typecast?
Oh no, I just like taking it easy. No, yes, I don't want to play vampire. There were 2 or 3 agents that came to me and wanted me to go up for the Dracula thing on Broadway. And that had nothing, it wasn't so much that I didn't want to play a vampire again, but that had nothing to do with playing Barnabas Collins. It was a different kind of show. It was a spoof on all of this nonsense. It was a ballet. It was a comedy. It was a kind of special kind of comedy. And I wasn't right for that kind of thing. It had nothing to do with whether it was a vampire. I never played a vampire, by the way. I played Barnabas Collins. And I had to fight somebody every few weeks. But it was a role that I made very special for myself. But as far as going to play a Dracula thing, that was something else. That was a different kind of play. It demanded a kind of style that I wasn't right for.
Would you do other roles if you were offered?
But it's not so much whether it's a vampire or not. That's not the point. The point is whether the role is interesting or not, and whether you need the money.
Waiting a long time. You have a question.
I just have some good news that Dark Shadows may be on in Memphis, Tennessee soon. I've started getting everybody together and having to send in any extra fanzines and sending letters, and we may get it back on the air. We have 700 already.
That's great.
Well,
Good for you.
I'm working at it.
And we had 3 weeks to do it before I left for Boston. So I really worked hard at it, and I think it's bearing fruit.
Wonderful.
Professor Karen, I saw you in Prince from Heaven. How much did you get to meet Mr. Steve Martin?
Oh, I met him maybe half a dozen times. We got together a lot before we shot the film, for readings and stuff of the film, and I got to, know him pretty much. Nice man, sweet man, funny.
You guys didn't get to any dancing or any dancing?
I would have loved to have done some dancing, and I would have loved to have broken into a dance in that. I'm waiting.
I have just one question, but I thought maybe everybody could respond to it down the line. What was the funniest mishap or mistake that you remember being involved with when you were doing the taping? I know it's hard.
What, with the TV show?
Right, when you were doing the taping.
Doing a scene with Carlin. That's probably one of the high points of the year. No, funniest thing, wrong sound cue, and this whole Collingwood collapsed. And everybody got up on the grade, and then Leela, the director, was screaming to, "That's not it! That's not it!" We're all on the floor laughing about it. That's about it.
Okay. Yeah, working with John Collin was very good. One time he was tormenting me in my cage. Throwing chicken at me. The chicken was good and I couldn't get to eat it.
Trying to charge you for it.
Haven't we been asked this question before? I would give the same answer. Well, the worst time for me was when I had to build a house of cards. And I was so afraid it was going to topple. And it was a spell where I was setting Vicky's room on fire. And the prop man, we went to commercial, and the prop man squirted it all with lighter fluid. And I had to come back and light it and do the incantation. And the commercial went on, and he thought about it, and then he squirted it with some more lighter. Remember that old prop guy, the real old one?
Sure do.
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
Snore.
It was your wedding, because he was supposed to be doing that. Right before we came back, he gave it one more squirt. And I lit it, and I mean, it singed the hair off of me. I was so terrified, and I kept incanting, and it was supposed to burn slowly for some, a page and a half. And it was gone. Canting to ashes.
Well, almost every day was an adventure on that.
Oh,
yeah. It really was, and it was great. It was so much fun, really, when you, in retrospect, when you think back, when you're going through something, it's a little different now. But it really was a lot of fun. I think it was, all of us can say, it was one of the most fun jobs we ever had. It really was. And so many different acting situations you could get into. I mean, you could show a range of insane, crazy emotions. I'm just thinking, I just finished acting with a guy, God, what's his name? Michael something. He played the head. Can you imagine a guy playing the head? It was one of his first, Mike McGuire.
Oh, yeah.
And he played the head, and I would circle around him, and he was alive. He would look at me, and I would look at him. Now I've acted with him 4 or 5 times in different shows, and I'll never let him live that down. The poor man wasn't allowed to show his body, just his head. He got paid. I just think of these crazy acting situations, and most of it is Willie Loomis, but I forget that I played other characters on this show, like Carl. Oh, yeah. I just wanted to hear the response. Carl. Did I play anybody else on that show? Desmond. Hendrick.
William H. Loomis. William H. Loomis.
You know it's. You know.
And I Will Loomis.
Yeah.
We very careful.
And I was a writer or something.
Yeah. Well, mostly you just drank. And you fell out of the tower room and you didn't do anything.
How time they changed them in the
I'll tell you, most of the funny things that happened on that show really had to do with the fact that it was so darn expensive to do any editing on the tape. And so everything was shot live, and most of us missed out on those golden years of live television. So this, you have to remember, was shot live. There was, I think the funniest, there were 3 or 4 very funny things that I recall happening, but one involved Louis Edmonds. And this was in the first, this was before any of the nursery on the show. It happened in the first 3 months. And Louis forgot that he had one scene at the end of the show. So Louis walked off the set and just strolled up to his dressing room and took his clothes off. And somebody remembered that he had another scene, so the stage manager forgot. And we had a woman named Edith. who was the wardrobe, and she went upstairs, and there was this awful sound of Louis running, and all he had on was jogging shorts and his socks, and he grabbed his pants, and he went running down the stairs, and Louis ran after him with his jacket and his tie, and there was a commercial break, and Louis only had time to put on his tie and his jacket, and he stood there in his socks and his shorts. His living room, and he picked up a glass of brandy and threw it against the mantel, and they came in for a close-up. There was another story too, and I'm sure we mentioned David Ford earlier. David Ford really had a problem with lines, and really a serious problem. And he always read the teleprompter, and unfortunately, he always looked like he was reading the teleprompter, so they made him blind. And they gave him dark glasses. And poor David...
Why didn't they do that with me?
And the other problem with David Ford with the dark glasses is that he always still looked at the So the only thing they could think of to do was to kill him off, which they did. And so he had no lines for the last 3 weeks or so that he was on the show, and he was lying in bed. And he only had one line in the last show, and that was Maggie, and then he expired. And the teleprompter was going, and I had all the words, except the teleprompter was, of course, attached to a camera, and the camera came in, and it bumped into the bed, and the teleprompter fell off. And David said, "Where is it?" Okay, Dad. Okay, Pop, and I pushed him back down to the bed, and he died.
One way out.
And I've got one more. I hope I'm not boring you. But But there was one other situation, again, because we were shooting really live television. And there was a scene between Joan Bennett and Grayson Hall and me. And that was when I was playing Kitty Hampshire. And I can't remember the names of they were playing. But it involved a gun and a letter. And these props were terribly necessary in this scene. And I think it was Grayson and me visiting Joan at Collingwood. And I walked out, and we had so many costume changes that day. I think I was playing the two characters, I think. And I had the muff, and I did not have the letter, and Grayson did not have the gun. So underneath the camera, there was all of this passing props around, and I remember passing my muff off like this as I was talking, and the prop man taking it into the muff, and I took the muff back, and I passed it back. And Joan reached into the muff and took the gun. Anyway, that's my story.
They say you play sweet types.
Well, I could sit here and keep you going all night long, so I'm sorry that I am. But there's one.
You do, yeah.
No, I won't. I'll just tell one. But it had nothing to do with lines. I'll skip that part. But it was, you know, at the end of each episode, they would have, during the credits, they'd have a piece of scenery.
Right.
And they always roped that area off so that no one would walk across it.
I remember this one.
One day, one day, it was like so often, I guess, it was the main foyer of the main house. But at the back, under the stairwell, in the upper hall there was a door leading back to the back of the house. Well, that was also a dressing room for us. And we did changes back in there. And so one day I had 2 or 3 changes, and that's where I did them all. And so I went to collect. We all had to take our costumes back upstairs. And we had to go and collect them. So I went back in to collect them, but not realizing that that area had been roped off. So during the credits rolling, out comes Barnabas from under that balcony and through that door with all my shirts.
Here we are.
Nice to see you.
Okay, Guy, you can power down.
In the 1969, during the Leviathan time, making Barnabas have nightmares because he was, trying, when he came back from 1897, the Leviathans had taken him over, and fans didn't like him being there, so he was reverting back to normalcy. And Jeb started making him have these nightmares that he was a vampire then, and that was the girl that he attacked. She was really a Leviathan girl. He just kept having nightmares.
Speaking of that, I will tell one more. But it was one time we were wondering, we were editing the script before the following day, and we didn't know, there was some episode, there was some aspect of the following day's show that related back to 6 months before, and we didn't know what the relationship was, and no one could figure out what had happened 6 months before. None of us on the next day's show could figure it out. The director of the next day's show couldn't figure it out. We called the writers, every one of the writers, and they couldn't remember that far back. We called Dan, he was probably kind of busy, but anyway. And somebody thought to go down to the street outside the studio where the mechanics were, and they came up with the answer.
Yay!
I was there when it happened. I remember that. How about that? I don't remember the question anymore because I hadn't been watching the series long enough to know the answer. But I remember them coming outside and asking us if anybody knew, and somebody was there who did know. Isn't that amazing?
We have been told that the dinners, they want to make sure that the guests and fans are going to dinner at time to clean up and get up there on time. I thought we might let Lisa perhaps can tell us something she's been doing, but anyway, I thought perhaps let her just make a statement and welcome her, and then perhaps we'd have one, maybe two, just a short question so we can let people go and get ready.
No, I just can't see her.
5 minutes back.
Hi, I'm sorry I'm late. I'm glad to be here. Well, I've been, what have I been doing? It's a hard question. I've been raising kids, right? And I was on a movie the week of Anne Margaret, Who Loved My Children. And I have a part in Mr. Mom, it's a comedy, small part. And the lines for, say, a mother, little girl dying of liver. I always get this part. Next year I hope to play only happy people. That's my goal. But anyway, I don't know what else I have to say. But
Can I mention something? In a couple of weeks you have a role on a repeat of Falcon Press. The secretary.
Oh yes, I forgot.
That's coming up in about 2 years.
Show you were only in for about 3 episodes, and you were gone for the whole 1897 period. What happened?
I went to Minneapolis. I worked at the I was, it was kind of a tough decision because the producers called up and they said, Lisa, what are you doing? And I said, well, I'm going to work in the theater. And they said, you realize what this means? And I made the choice to go with the theater at that time. But then I was lucky enough when I came back that they let me reappear in another kind of incarnation.
I have a question for Mr. Frid. Am I right that you and the showrunner, David, what's called Shakespeare?
Devil's Daughter.
Devil's Daughter. You didn't say anything, which makes me damn mad, really.
Considering what was
Did
said,
you
wasn't that?
like that, or did you have asked him to give you lines, or were you just satisfied? No lines?
Oh, no, the idea of no lines was fascinating to me, but that was the way, that's all nothing happened after that. It was supposed to be developed, never did particularly. But the concept was fine. It just never really was structured in a way that pleased. I mean, I didn't mind doing it. Again, it was money. And happy to do it. But I would like to have seen it more developed than it was. I think it was meant to be at one point. But there's a lot of politics goes on in those kind of shows.
It's not what you know, it's who you know. It's not what you know, it's who you know.
You've got a question there?
Yeah. Ms. Parker, what was it like working on The Night Stalker? No dye out of your hair. Remember, he dunks you in the dye. Did you ever get that up
Gavin
to
didn't like me very much. I didn't think I knew how to do this.
Show now.
You guys could have helped me.
It
It was fun part.
John Carlin. At last year's convention, they showed an episode where you played Carl. And I just wanted to say that in some of those scenes where he was carrying, not you, what he was carrying on, he reminded me a lot of Dwight Fry as Dracula. Because, no, I think he was an excellent actor. He was terrific in his part. Even as crazy as Willie.
Oh, I loved him. I loved him.
Carl was even worse.
He was great.
Because
He was fantastic.
he was. I mean, that
Oh, he
look
was
in your
incredible.
eyes and everything.
Yeah.
You look at him and you look at Dwight Fry and
Yeah.
Dracula. Terrific.
He was great. Yeah,
I
thank you.
expect him to go look at the bugs any minute.
I do that off camera. That's great.
I had one for Ms. Parker. When you were playing Angelique, did you ever have any altercations with fans who really thought you were Angelique, who couldn't separate you and the part? Like in a supermarket or any such place?
One Christmas, I took my kids to an orphanage to sing Christmas carols. I thought it would be good for them to go out and do something for other people. So it was huge. There were about 500 kids, and they were all black. And they just knew some people were coming by to sing Christmas carols with them. And I walked in, and they all started screaming, and they ran.
Jonathan, what did she just say? What did they do?
Oh,
Christmas carols.
Screaming! A lot. Wait, I'm okay.
This is for Lara Parker. I've seen you quite a few dramatic things. I was wondering if you've done any comedy before, if you're interested in comedy.
Oh, I'm very interested. Nobody in this town seems to think I can do it. But I'm working on it.
Have you done any situation comedies or anything like that?
One small role. Maybe I'll get through this. You want to bring it to a close, Dave?
Yes, the hot dinner at 7 o'clock is immovable. When you order 100 hot meals at 7 o'clock, they plan the whole kitchen around it all day. We can't change it to 7:30. That is the one thing that can't be changed in time all evening. But I imagine a bunch of you probably want to freshen up a little before anyhow. It's at the Penthouse at 6:30. You can get up here at 6:30. The meal won't be till 7. There will be a cash bar up there. Now everybody here, everybody facing that way, wait just a minute before everybody else leaves.
Thank you very much.
Jonathan, you want to fade it?
You have fades.